Good morning again, Jamaica. Now is the time to build a house. Now is the time to buy a house. Now is the time to make that critical investment. That's a statement by the Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness, during his contribution to the 2019-2020 budget debate. Is this indeed so? Let's talk about it right now with our attorney at law, Nicole Lawrence. Nicole is from, let me tell you right now, from she's a partner. Yes. Howell, Johnson, and Lawrence, attorneys at law. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm
fine. Thank you for having me. No, go ahead.
I want to get into this build a house, buy a house. It's exciting.
Yes, we are in exciting times in real estate.
Yes.
Never have we seen such reductions, especially when it comes to the taxes that are associated with a sale. The Prime Minister recently announced several taxes that will be reduced.
Yes.
Transfer tax will be reduced. Stamp duty is set at a particular fee. Now, these are normally the taxes that attract high amount of cost.
Let's start with the transfer fee.
No, transfer tax presently.
Transfer tax.
Yes, transfer tax presently is at 5%.
Right.
Now, when you're calculating a sale at 10 million, 11 million, 20 million, 5% of that is hundreds of thousands of dollars. Persons will be saving now.
Yeah.
Come April 1st, we'll see a reduction. So now persons will be paying 2%.
That's a
dramatic reduction.
Yes.
So now the vendor has more money in their pocket. Not only that, but stamp duty, which in total, it's a cost that is shared between the vendor and the purchaser. Now it is at 4%. Stamp duty, come April 1st, will be $5,000.
That's it, across the board, no matter what.
Empress, is like a Black Friday sale in real estate.
Yeah, man.
So I know that many persons will be coming to purchase. Now, one of the implications, and this is something that I'm excited about and I've always been very passionate about, is the deposit.
Yes.
Now, traditionally, your deposit is 10%.
Right.
What we use the deposit for is to pay the taxes and the fees, the transfer tax, the stamp duty, and registration fee. Registration fee didn't change. It is still 0.5% and it's shared between the vendor and purchaser. So before, you were looking at a 9.5% in fees and taxes. With this reduction, we now see room. And there's a possibility that your deposit can be reduced because your deposit usually is what we used to pay for these fees. But now, with the reduction in the fees.
So that, that could change.
Yes.
Or is it going to change?
So now your fees will amount to 2.5%. And $5,000 for the stamp duty.
Right.
Now, let me just take you back a little bit.
Yes.
To the common law.
Yes.
Now, 10% is reasonable in the circumstances to pay your fees. If it is that we're reducing the fees, one would expect that the deposit would go down because we wouldn't need the whole 10%. I know for myself, at my office, my partners and I have already begun discussions with redrafting to ask for less for the deposit.
Yes.
So, and we know that when
that sounds good.
Yeah, when it comes to a purchase, this is something that deters many persons from buying property.
It's hard to find the 10%.
It's hard to come up with the 10%.
Yeah.
And when you look at properties on average, you're looking at anywhere between, well, over $10 million.
Listen. Yeah. Let's talk. In Kingston,
oh Lord,
to buy certain houses, and I'm telling you, the little rundown apartment for $35 million because it's in a
one bedroom
because it's in a UPT area. It's really rough.
Yes.
So you got to go find 10% of that, 3 million something cash.
Yes.
Rough, man.
Yeah, it is. It's very expensive, especially for low-income earners to come up with that. And it was a big deterrent, but now with this reduction, I believe that we will begin to see.
So you're saying you believe, or is this something that we just have to calculate? And does it have to be announced? Because right now, if we're purchasing tomorrow, is it still 10%, or are we saying
it's still 10%?
But this is something we could lobby for or ask.
Well, I can speak for myself and my firm. We will be reducing our fees because that 10% is what we used to pay for the taxes.
So the 10% is technically the lawyers, or who sets it at 10%?
It's pretty much a common law precedent because it was earnest money. It is what we used to pay the taxes. So if it is that, no, we don't need that much to pay the taxes because of this reduction. We don't need that.
So I can come to your firm and say, listen, I'm buying this house.
Yes.
It's $15 million.
Yes.
And normally I would pay 1.5.
Right.
And then you would calculate and say, you know what, Empress, why don't you just give me 800,000 or whatever it is?
I would say 5% in the circumstances will be reasonable, and I do anticipate many draftsmen will begin to draft their agreements to reflect as such.
Oh, this is interesting. I see that you're excited. I can tell.
I'm excited.
And
I am excited. And I can speak to recently when we look at the emergence of Airbnb. We see less properties available for persons just coming out of school to rent because persons are moving to short-term rental. Airbnb made billions of dollars last year, which would therefore mean that the apartments that we would want to rent are not available to us anymore because persons are turning to short-term rentals. Because of this, we find that there's now a demand for certain properties, which means that the rent is going to be high. Your mortgage.
Yes, can pay that.
Can pay.
It's so true.
It's rent.
Sometimes I look at these rentals and I'm like, ain't nobody paying you $3,000 US for their house. But look at this, except the expats on it, because we know it rough. We have to talk truth. Take me through a couple of things right now, Nicole. The interest rates for NHG beneficiaries decreased by 1%.
Right.
So if you're getting a loan now,
so
tell me how that works.
All right. So at present, the loan limit is $5.5 million. Right? Depending on your income stream, you can access up to $5.5 million to purchase a home. For a lot, it's anywhere between $2 to $2.5 million. Now, for homes, we now see a jump of $1 million. And Empress, we know that $1 million to purchase a property is the difference between one community and another. Right? So with this 6.5%, more persons will have access to different type of properties. With this increase as well, what we see here is a dramatic reduction in interest rate. We can't compete with NHD though.
So what was the original interest rate? It dropped by 1%?
Right. So originally we saw the highest interest rate being 6%. We now have interest rates dropping to 5%, 3%, and 0%.
Tell me about the 0 one. I read that.
All right, so depending on the income that you have, I believe it is 14 million and less, you would pay 0% on your interest rate. And not only that, with these new reductions, you are actually saving money, thousands of dollars you'll be saving to pay back money each month on your mortgage. So you will have more money in pocket based on these reductions. These interest rates are so competitive. I don't know if you realize that a particular bank lowered their interest rate. So with NHD's reduction, you'd have more competitiveness in the market. So other institutions will begin to lower their rates.
Okay, go back to something. What were you saying about the 14?
Right, so so now you have different income brackets.
Right. So if you're earning between 12 and 15,000, is it, per week?
Yes, right. Your interest rate is lowered, and it's actually 0% on that particular income bracket. Right, so you'll be paying less.
All right, I'm trying to get my head around this construction loan now.
Right.
Just give me a quick...
I'm excited about the construction rates.
About the construction loan too. I want to know, the people want to know. Are we going to news or something? No, I got time, right? Okay, let's go.
Based on the pronouncements by the Prime Minister, at present, what it is that lots, if you're buying an NHD service lot, it would be anywhere between $2 million to $2.5 million to purchase the lot. And then based on how much you're qualified for, the remainder can be used to do your development, to do your construction. Now, what they're saying is that, what the Prime Minister is saying is that what they're going to do is value it based on a 2-bedroom in that scheme, which would therefore mean that you will have more money to do your construction. So everybody can understand why I'm so excited. My clients will have more money in their pocket. Persons will have less money to upfront in the initial stages, and more persons will begin to buy. Nicole, and I'm excited about that.
I share your excitement. It's rubbing off on me. So I guess we can call you when it's time to purchase a home.
Feel free to call us at Howell Johnson Lawrence. We're here and we're available for you.
And if you're greeting me with a smile like that, then I definitely need you as my attorney.
Right.
All right, there you go, my people. Making home ownership more affordable. Attorney at law and partner at Howell Johnson and Lawrence weighed in. Nicole Lawrence, thank you again.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yes, man, you're welcome. We get to know the band a little later and a little better. We get to know the band a little better after this.